Things like this usually don't happen in a community like ours. It's very tragic.
Investigators release autopsy reports today for 8 members of an Ohio family killed execution style.
We begin tonight with a deadline that has passed for the mother of 2 missing children from Rexburg.
Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda, and in this channel we talk about all things true crime related. I'm working on day 5 of the preliminary hearing for Tyler McCain regarding the disappearance of his wife, Nikki Cheng Saelee-McCain. I realized in my last video I really didn't give too much of a recap, so if you're just jumping in there, I apologize. I hope it wasn't too confusing. Do you all find a recap helpful before I jump into it, or is that annoying? Let me know because I want to know what's best for you guys. I've also created playlists for these multi-case days. There's one going for Crystal Rogers, which I just did an update on, and then one for Mary Gingles. All domestic violence cases. Speaking of that, it was reported that people in the courtroom who were supporting Nikki were wearing buttons that read "Stop Domestic Violence." It's such a powerful reminder that these hearings are not just about legal proceedings, they're about lives, families, and communities who are deeply affected by domestic violence. Now, before jumping in today's video, I would just like to remind you to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'd really love to see this community grow so I can offer more and more content for you guys. I also, as I've mentioned a few times, just released my first ever Patreon video. You can go ahead and check that out in the link that I'll post in the description box. I do plan on doing another one for that tier because the video I did was a little shorter than I planned, but we'll see how that plays out. To get into this video, a quick recap. Nikki Cheng Saelee-McCain was last seen on May 18, 2024. Her husband, Tyler McCain, was arrested more than a year later on August 20th, 2025 in connection with her disappearance. Now, like I said, we are on day 5 of the preliminary hearing. At the end of this process, the judge will be able to decide if there's enough evidence presented to move the case forward to trial. The first witness to take the stand in the morning of Tuesday was Louis B. Now, when it comes to people's full names, I usually avoid saying them unless they're deeply connected to the case or, frankly, they do something that deserves to be called out. For most people, though, I try to minimize the stress because, let's be honest, many of them are living one of the worst experiences of their lives. Now, we learned last Thursday that Louis and Nikki were in a romantic relationship. Nikki told him that she was trying to leave Tyler, and according to his testimony, Louis was trying to be patient with her. As I mentioned, Louis started testimony on Tuesday morning when he was saying that he last saw Nikki the night of May 17, 2024, and that the two had been intimate that evening. Louis testified that he and Nikki were texting and calling into the early hours of May 18th and that it was pretty much spent arguing. According to him, he stated this argument took place because he was worried about her safety and admittedly he felt jealous. He said he tried calling and texting her after 3 a.m. to apologize, but Nikki never answered. He pointed out that in the past, even during arguments, Nikki would still respond. Louis also confirmed that during their relationship, he and Nikki occasionally used meth together. He also told the court that he sat for a lie detector test during the missing person investigation. I'm sorry if you guys hear that dog barking. It's my neighbor's dog, and it seems like she was just let out. You'll probably continue to hear it, unfortunately. When asked why he didn't participate in searches for Nikki, he explained that it was because he didn't want to be confronted by Tyler. And honestly, I think that was probably a responsible choice. I mean, he was having an affair with Tyler's wife. I can't imagine that would be a good or safe situation for anyone to be in. Finally, as his testimony wrapped up, he was asked point blank if he killed Nikki, and his response was simple: he did not. Next on the stand was a senior criminal analyst for the California Department of Justice. She testified that she tested the sheet that was found in the bed of Nikki's avalanche. She noted that the sheet had 3 of its corners tied into knots. Now, I just want to pause here for a moment because this case isn't being streamed. I only have a handful of local reporters who are in the courtroom. It means I'm relying on their notes, and each one only shares a certain amount of details. So it's honestly hard to verify each piece of information. Usually I like to use more than one source, but really when there's not a ton of people in the courtroom, it's really hard. But from my understanding, DNA was found on each of these knots from a different person. One corner was belonging to Tyler, one corner was belonging to his cousin Larry, who he already testified, and one corner reportedly had Justin's DNA on it, which he already took the stand to. I find that weird as fuck. Do you guys not find that weird? If that's really how it played out, I will go ahead and update this if something else comes out. But what's going on here? Why would they each have DNA only on one corner where a knot was tied? I wonder why there's not more questions being asked about this. She also testified that the blood DNA that was found on the sheet and that was in the truck bed was 120 billion times more likely to be Nikki's than anyone else's. Now, because Nikki's remains have never been recovered, investigators actually had to obtain DNA from her oldest daughter for a comparison. She went on to explain that blood samples and other bodily fluids found on the sheet strongly supported that they were Tyler's. In the afternoon, Tyler's mother, Jeanette Hayward, took the stand. According to some news reports, they only mentioned that she had some trouble answering questions, saying she didn't remember a lot. And that was like all they covered about her testimony. Like, What kind of reporting is that? Thankfully, other outlets provided more detail. Jeanette testified that in the evening of May 17th, her son was admitted to the hospital. From there, Nikki drove her home from the hospital in the early morning hours of May 18th. Jeanette said that after that, she went to bed. She said she was quite upset, so she went to bed, and that Nikki got a ride home from Justin, who, as we heard, was living on the property at the time. The next morning, Jeanette testified that Tyler came to her house alone and told her that Nikki was gone when he woke up. Now, I don't necessarily think this is an immediate red flag, at least in their relationship. It seemed like Tyler and Nikki had a really rough relationship, and based on some of the stories that Tyler had told before, this could have been somewhat normal for his mother to hear. Jeanette said that her son was acting normal when he came over, and there was no difference in how he usually acted. She explained that she gave him a ride in her Tahoe to Red Bluff so he could look for Nikki's Chevy Avalanche. During that trip, the two got into an argument because basically they couldn't find the truck, so it seemed like there was some stress there. At one point, Tyler got out to walk and search for the truck on his own. She told him to get back in, and when he didn't, she drove off, saying, "Don't let the coyotes get you." According to her, she wasn't concerned about leaving him behind since he had money in his pocket, and she said he could figure a way to get back to Redding. Real sweet. She also testified that Tyler told her that he had been driving the Avalanche when it reportedly blew up. Jeanette admitted that she could not recall a lot during her testimony. She explained to the prosecution that she used to drink vodka heavily, though she had stopped about 7 months ago. She said that the night Nikki dropped her off at her house, she had been drinking a lot because, like I said, she was upset over her son's health issues. She also said that she doesn't remember when police first came out to her house to talk about when Nikki went missing. However, Jeanette does remember texting Nikki's sister Chloe, saying that in December of 2023, she texted Chloe that Nikki needed to go to the hospital. When shown photos from around that time period of the incident from when she reported the domestic violence on December 1st, 2023, Jeanette said, no, it wasn't that time. This was just a few bruises when she told Chloe to bring her. And honestly, I couldn't help but wonder, how does it make you feel, Jeanette, to know that your son puts his hands on little women? I'll say this, I would be mortified if my sons, either of them, put their hands on a woman. I don't even want to go into details of how my husband would react. But that's really all that's being reported on from Tuesday, September 16th. His preliminary hearing went again today, which I'll go ahead and release a video tomorrow, and it's expected to go through Thursday, so I may just do a video of them two together. If you've made it this far, please know that I truly appreciate you being here. Don't forget to like this video. It's a free and simple way to help me out. But until the next one, stay safe out there. The world's an ugly place.